Santorini or Thera is a Greek island in the southern Aegean Sea, about 200 kilometers 120 meters southeast from its mainland. It is the largest island of a small, circular archipelago formed by the Santorini caldera. It is the southernmost member of the Cyclades group of islands, with an area of approximately 73 kilometers 28 square meter and a 2021 census population of 15,480. The municipality of Santorini includes the inhabited islands of Santorini and Theresia, as well as the uninhabited islands of Nia Kameni, Palaya Kameni, Aspronici and Christiana. The total land area is 90.6 to 3 kilometers 34.990 square meter. Santorini is part of the Thera regional unit. The island was the site of one of the largest volcanic eruptions in recorded history, the Minoan eruption, sometimes called the Thera eruption, which occurred about 3,600 years ago at the height of the Minoan civilization. The eruption left a large caldera surrounded by volcanic ash deposits hundreds of meters deep. It is the most active volcanic center in the South Aegean volcanic arc, though what remains today is chiefly a water-filled caldera. The volcanic arc is approximately 500 kilometers, 300 meter long and 20 to 40 kilometers, 12 to 25 meter wide. The region first became volcanically active around 3-4 million years ago, though volcanism on Thera began around 2 million years ago with the extrusion of dacitic lavas from vents around Akrotiri. Santorini was named by the Latin Empire in the 13th century and is a reference to Saint Irene, from the name of the old church in the village of Perissa. The name Santorini is a contraction of the name Santa Irene. Before then, it was known as Calliste, the most beautiful one, Strongel the circular one, or Thra. The ancient name Thera, for Theras, the leader of the Spartans who colonized and gave his name to the island, was revived in the 19th century as the official name of the island and its main city, but the colloquial Santorini is still in popular use. Excavations starting in 1967 at the Akrotiri site under Spyridon Marinatos have made Thera the best-known Minoan site outside Crete, homeland of the culture. The island was not known as Thera at this time. Only the southern tip of a large town has been uncovered, yet it has revealed complexes of multi-level buildings, streets, and squares with remains of walls standing as high as 8 meters, all entombed in the solidified ash of the famous eruption of Thera. The site was not a palace complex as found in Crete. Nor was it a conglomeration of merchant warehousing. Its excellent masonry and fine wall paintings reveal a complex community. A loom workshop suggests organized textile weaving for export. This Bronze Age civilization thrived between 3000 and 2000 BC, reaching its peak in the period between 2000 and 1630 BC. Many of the houses in Akrotiri are major structures, some of them 3 stories high. Its streets, squares, and walls were preserved in the layers of ejecta, sometimes as tall as 8 meters, indicating this was a major town. In many houses, stone staircases are still intact, and they contain huge ceramic storage jars, pithui, mills, and pottery. Noted archaeological remains found in Akrotiri are wall paintings or frescoes that have kept their original color well, as they were preserved under many meters of volcanic ash. Judging from the fine artwork, its citizens were sophisticated and relatively wealthy people. Among more complete frescoes found in one house are 2 antelopes painted with a confident calligraphic line, a man holding fish strung by their gills, a flotilla of pleasure boats that are accompanied by leaping dolphins, and a scene of women sitting in the shade of light canopies. Fragmentary wall paintings found at one site are Minoan frescoes that depict saffron gatherers offering crocus stamens to a seated woman, perhaps a goddess important to the Akrotiri culture. The themes of the Akrotiri frescoes show no relationship to the typical content of the classical Greek decor of 510 BC to 323 BC that depict the Greek pantheon deities. The town also had a highly developed drainage system. Pipes with running water and water closets found at Akrotiri are the oldest such utilities discovered. The pipes run in twin systems, indicating that Therans used both hot and cold water supplies. The origin of the hot water they circulated in the town probably was geothermic, given the volcano's proximity. The well-preserved ruins of the ancient town are often compared to the spectacular ruins at Pompeii in Italy. The canopy covering the ruins collapsed in an accident in September 2005, killing one tourist and injuring 7 more. The site was closed for almost 7 years while a new canopy was built. The site was reopened in April 2012. The oldest signs of human settlement are late Neolithic 4th millennium BC or earlier, but circa 1650 BC Akrotiri developed into one of the Aegean's major Bronze Age ports, with recovered objects that came not just from Crete, but also from Anatolia, Cyprus, Syria, and Egypt, as well as from the Dodecanese and the Greek mainland. The Minoan eruption provides a fixed point for the chronology of the 2nd millennium BC in the Aegean, because evidence of the eruption occurs throughout the region and the site itself contains material culture from outside. The eruption occurred during the late Minoan IA period of Minoan chronology at Crete and the late Cycladic I period in the surrounding islands. Archaeological evidence, based on an established chronology of Bronze Age Mediterranean cultures, dated the eruption to around 1500 BC. These dates, however, conflict with radiocarbon dating, which indicated that the eruption occurred between 1645-1600 BC, and tree-ring data which yielded a date of 1628 BC. For those and other reasons, the previous culturally based chronology has generally been questioned. Santorini remained unoccupied throughout the rest of the Bronze Age, during which time the Greeks took over Crete. At Knossos, in a Maya context 14th century BC, 7 linear B texts, while calling upon all the deities, make sure to grant primacy to an elsewhere unattested entity called Kerasija and once Kerasijo. If the endings I and ios represent an ethnic suffix, then this means the one from Keras. If the initial consonant were aspirated, then Kera would have become Tera in later Greek. Theresia and its ethniko Theresios are both attested in later Greek, and since sus was itself a genitive suffix in the Aegean Sprachbund, Keras could also shrink to Kera. If Kerasija was an ethniko first, then in following the entity the Cretans also feared whence it came. Probably after what is called the Bronze Age collapse, Phoenicians founded a site on Tera. Herodotus reports that they called the island Callista and lived on it for 8 generations. In the 9th century BC, Dorians founded the main Hellenic city on Mesa Vuno, 396 meters above sea level. This group later claimed that they had named the city and the island after their leader, Heras. Today, that city is referred to as Ancient Tera. In his Argonautica, written in Hellenistic Egypt in the 3rd century BC, Apollonius Rhodius includes an origin and sovereignty myth of Tera being given by Triton in Libya to the Greek Argonaut Euphemus, son of Poseidon, in the form of a clod of dirt. After carrying the dirt next to his heart for several days, Euphemus dreamt that he nursed the dirt with milk from his breast, and that the dirt turned into a beautiful woman with whom he had sex. The woman then told him that she was a daughter of Triton named Callist, and that when he threw the dirt into the sea it would grow into an island for his descendants to live on. The poem goes on to claim that the island was named Tera after Euphemus' descendant Theras, son of Otition, the leader of a group of refugee settlers from Lemnos. The Dorians have left a number of inscriptions incised in stone, in the vicinity of the Temple of Apollo, attesting to pederastic relations between the authors and their lovers Eromenon. These inscriptions, found by Friedrich Hiller von Geitringen, have been thought by some archaeologists to be of a ritual, celebratory nature because of their large size, careful construction, and in some cases execution by craftsmen other than the authors. According to Herodotus, following a drought of 7 years, Tera sent out colonists who founded a number of cities in northern Africa, including Cyrene. In the 5th century BC, Dorian Tera did not join the Delian League with Athens, and during the Peloponnesian War, Tera sided with Dorian Sparta against Athens. The Athenians took the island during the war, but lost it again after the Battle of Aegospotami. During the Hellenistic period, the island was a major naval base for Ptolemaic Egypt. As with other Greek territories, Tera then was ruled by the Romans. When the Roman Empire was divided, the island passed to the eastern side of the empire, which today is known as the Byzantine Empire. According to George Cedrenus, the volcano erupted again in the summer of 727, the 10th year of the reign of Leo III the Isaurian. He writes, in the same year, in the summer, a vapor like an oven's fire boiled up for days out of the middle of the islands of Terra and Theracia from the depths of the sea, and the whole place burned like fire, little by little thickening and turning to stone. And the air seemed to be a fiery torch. This terrifying explosion was interpreted as a divine omen against the worship of religious icons and gave the Emperor Leo III the Isaurian the justification he needed to begin implementing his iconoclasm policy. The name Santorini first appears circa 1153-1154 in the work of the Muslim geographer Al-Idrisi as Santorin, from the island's patron saint, Saint Irene of Thessalonica. After the Fourth Crusade, it was occupied by the Duchy of Naxos, which held it up to circa 1280 when it was reconquered by Licario. It was again reconquered from the Byzantines circa 1301 by Iacopo II Barozzi, a member of the Cretan branch of the Venetian Barozzi family, whose descendant held it until it was annexed in circa 1335 by Niccolò Sanudo after various legal and military conflicts. In 1318, 1331 and 1345, 1360 it was raided by the Turkish principalities of Menteşe and Aden, but did not suffer much damage. Because of the Ventians, the island became home to a sizable Catholic community and is still the seat of a Catholic bishopric. From the 15th century on, the suzerainty of the Republic of Venice over the island was recognized in a series of treaties by the Ottoman Empire, but this did not stop Ottoman raids until it was captured by the Ottoman Admiral Piale Pasha in 1576. As part of a process of annexation of most remaining Latin possessions in the Aegean, it became part of the semi-autonomous domain of the Sultan's Jewish favorite, Joseph Nasi. Santorini retained its privileged position in the 17th century, but suffered in turn from Venetian raids during the frequent Ottoman-Venetian wars of the period, even though there were no Muslims on the island. Santorini was captured briefly by the Russians under Alexei Orlov during the Russo-Turkish War of 1768-1774, but returned to Ottoman control after. As part of its plans to foment a revolt against the Ottoman Empire and gain Greek independence, Alexandros Ypsilantis, the head of the Philiki Eteria in early 1821, dispatched Demetrios Themilis from Patmos and Evangelos Matsarakis 1824. A sea captain from Kefalonia who had Santorini connections to establish a network of supporters in the Cyclades. As his authority, Matsarakis had a letter from Ypsilantis dated 29 December 1820 addressed to the notables of Santorini and the Orthodox Metropolitan Bishop Zacharias Kyriakos, served 1814-1842. At the time, the population of Santorini was divided between those who supported independence, and particularly among the Catholics, and non-Orthodox, those who were ambivalent or distrustful of a revolt being directed by Hydra and Spetses, or were fearful of the Sultan's revenge. While the island didn't come out in direct support of the revolt, they did send 100 barrels of wine to the Greek fleet as well. In April 1821, 71 sailors, a priest and the presbyter Nikolaos Dekazas, to serve on the Spetsiote fleet. Because of the lack of majority support for direct participation in the revolt, it was necessary for Matsarakis to enlist the aid of Kefalonians living in Santorini too. On 5 May 1821, the feast day of the patron saint of the island, raise the flag of the revolution and then expel the Ottoman officials from the island. The provisional administration of Greece organized the Aegean islands into 6 provinces, one of which was Santorini, and appointed Matsarakis its governor in April 1822. While he was able to raise a large amount of money, double that collected on Naxos, he was soon found to lack the diplomatic skills needed to convince the islanders, who had enjoyed considerable autonomy, to now accept direction from a central authority and contribute tax revenue to it. He claimed to his superiors that the islanders needed political re-education, as they did not understand why they had to pay higher taxes than those levied under the Ottomans in order to support the struggle for independence. The hostility against the taxes caused many of the tax collectors to resign. Things were also not helped by the governor's authoritarian character, arbitrariness, and arrests of prominent islanders, losing him the support of Zacharias Kyriakos, who had initially supported Matsarakis. In retaliation, Matsarakis accused him of being a Turcophile and had the archbishop imprisoned and then exiled him. The abbots of the monasteries, the priests and the prelates, complained to Demetrios Ypsilantis, president of the National Assembly. Matsarakis soon had to hire bodyguards as the island descended into open revolt against him. Fearful for his life, Matsarakis later fled the island and was dismissed from his governorship by Demetrios Ypsilantis. Mazarakis, however, later represented Santorini in the National Assembly and following his death was succeeded in that position in November 1824 by Pantaleon Ogerino. Once they heard of massacres of the Greek population of Chios in April 1822, many islanders became fearful of Ottoman reprisals, with two villages stating they were prepared to surrender, though 16 monks from the monastery of Prophetess Ilias, led by their abbot Gerasimos Mavromatis, declared in writing their support for the revolt. 4 commissioners for the Aegean Islands, among them Benjamin of Lesbos and Konstantinos Metaxas, appointed by the Provisional Administration of Greece, arrived in July 1822 to investigate the issues on Santorini. The commissioners were uncompromising in their support for Matsarakis. With news from Chios fresh in their minds, the island's notables eventually arrested Metaxas with the intention of handing him over to the Ottomans in order to prove their loyalty. He was rescued by his Ionian guards. Matters became so heated that Antonios Barbarigos, 1824, who had been serving in the First National Assembly at Epidaurus since 20th January 1820, was seriously wounded in the head by a knife attack on Santorini in October 1822 during a dispute between the factions. In early 1823, the Second National Assembly at Astros imposed a contribution of 90,000 grosses on Santorini to fund the fight for independence, while in 1836 they also had to contribute in 1826 to the obligatory loan of 190,000 grosses imposed on the Cyclades. In Decree 573 issued by the National Assembly 17th May 1823, Santorini was recognized as one of 15 provinces in the Greek-controlled Aegean, 9 in the Cyclades and 6 in the Sporades. The island became part of the fledgling Greek state under the London Protocol of 3rd February 1830, rebelled against the government of Ioannis Kapodistrias in 1831, and became definitively part of the independent Kingdom of Greece in 1832, with the Treaty of Constantinople. Santorini joined an insurrection that had broken out in Nafplio on 1st February 1862 against the rule of King Otto of Greece. However, the royal authorities was able to quickly restore control and the revolt had been suppressed by 20th March of that year. However, the unrest arose again later in the year, which led to the 23rd October 1862 revolution and the overthrow of King Otto. During the Second World War, Santorini was occupied in 1941 by Italian forces and then by the Germans following the Italian armistice in 1943. In 1944, the German garrison on Santorini was raided by a group of British Special Boat Service commandos, killing most of its men. 5 locals were later shot in reprisal, including the mayor. In general, the island's economy continued to decline following World War II, with a number of factories closing as a lot of industrial activity relocated after to Athens. In an attempt to improve the local economy, the Union of Santorini Cooperatives was established 1947 to process, export and promote the island's agriculture products, in particular its wine. In 1952, they constructed near the village of Monolithos what is today the island's only remaining tomato processing factory. The island's tourism in the early 1950s generally took the form of small numbers of wealthy tourists on yacht cruises through the Aegean. The island's children would present arriving passengers with flowers and bid them happy sailing by lighting small lanterns along the steps from Fira down to the port, offering them a beautiful farewell spectacle. Once such visitor was the actress Olivia de Havilland, who visited the island in September 1955 at the invitation of Petros Nomikos. In the early 1950s, as the shipping magnate Evangelos P. Nomikos and his wife Lola decided to support their birthplace and so asked residents to choose whether they wanted the couple to pay for the construction of either a hotel or a hospital. To which local authorities replied that they would prefer a hotel. As a result, in 1952, the Nomikos commissioned the architect Venetsanos to undertake the design and paid for the construction of the Hotel Atlantis, which was at the time the most glamorous hotel in the Cyclades. In 1954, Santorini had approximately 12,000 inhabitants and very few visitors. The only modes of transport on the island were a jeep, a small bus, and the island's traditional donkeys and mules. At 3:11 a.m. on 9th July 1956, an earthquake with a magnitude depending on the particular study of 7.5 struck 30 kilometers south of the island of Amorgos. It was the largest earthquake of the 20th century in Greece and had a devastating impact on Santorini. It was followed by aftershocks, the most significant being the first occurring at 3:24, 13 minutes after the main shock, which had a 7.2 magnitude. This aftershock, which originated close to the island of Anafi, is believed to have been responsible for most of the damage and casualties on Santorini. The earthquake was accompanied by a tsunami, which while much higher at other islands is estimated to have reached 3 meters at Perissa and 2 meters at Vlchda on Santorini. Immediately following the earthquake, the Greek Prime Minister Konstantinos Karmanlis declared Santorini a state of large-scale local disaster and visited the island to inspect the situation on 14th July. Many countries had offered to send relief efforts, though Greece refused to accept the offer of the United Kingdom to send warships to help from Cyprus, where they were involved in the Cyprus emergency. As there was no airport, the Greek military made airdrops of food, tents and supplies, while camps for the homeless were established on the outskirts of Fira. On Santorini, the earthquakes killed 53 people and injured another 100. On Santorini, 35% of the houses collapsed and 45% suffered major or minor damage. In total, 529 houses were destroyed, 1,482 were severely damaged and 1,750 lightly damaged. Almost all public buildings were completely destroyed. One of the largest buildings that survived unscathed was the newly built Hotel Atlantis, which allowed it to be used as a temporary hospital and to house public services. The greatest damage was experienced on the western side along the edge of the caldera, especially at Oahe, with parts of the ground collapsing into the sea. The damage from the earthquake reduced most of the population to extreme poverty and caused many to leave the island in search of better opportunities, with most settling in Athens. The expansion of tourism in recent years has resulted in the growth of the economy and population. Santorini was ranked the world's top island by many magazines and travel sites, including the Travel Plus Leisure magazine, the BBC, as well as the US News. An estimated 2 million tourists visit annually. Santorini has been emphasizing sustainable development and the promotion of special forms of tourism, the organization of major events such as conferences and sport activities. The island's pumice quarries have been closed since 1986 in order to preserve the caldera. The Cyclades are part of a metamorphic complex that is known as the Cycladic Massif. The complex formed during the Miocene and was folded and metamorphosed during the Alpine orogeny around 60 million years ago. There is a small non-volcanic basement that represents the former non-volcanic island, which was approximately 9 by 6 kilometers, 5.6 by 3.7 meter. The basement rock is primarily composed of metamorphosed limestone and schist, which date from the Alpine orogeny. These non-volcanic rocks are exposed at Mikros Prophytitis Ilias, Mesa Vuno, the Gavrilos Ridge, Pyrgos, Monolithos, and the inner side of the caldera wall between Cape Palka and Athenios. The metamorphic grade is a blue schist facies, which results from tectonic deformation by the subduction of the African plate beneath the Eurasian plate. Subduction occurred between the Oligocene and the Miocene, and the metamorphic grade represents the southernmost extent of the Cycladic blue schist belt. Volcanism on Santorini is due to the Hellenic subduction zone southwest of Crete. The oceanic crust of the northern margin of the African plate is being subducted under Greece and the Aegean Sea, which is thinned continental crust. The subduction compels the formation of the Hellenic arc, which includes Santorini and other volcanic centers, such as Methana, Milos, and Kos. The island is the result of repeated sequences of shield volcano construction followed by caldera collapse. The inner coast around the caldera is a sheer precipice of more than 300 meter 980 feet drop at its highest and exhibits the various layers of solidified lava on top of each other, and the main towns perched on the crest. The ground then slopes outwards and downwards towards the outer perimeter, and the outer beaches are smooth and shallow. Beach sand color depends on which geological layer is exposed. There are beaches with sand or pebbles made of solidified lava of various colors, such as the red beach, the black beach, and the white beach. The water at the darker colored beaches is significantly warmer because the lava acts as a heat absorber. The area of Santorini incorporates a group of islands created by volcanoes spanning across Thracia, Aspronisi, Kalia, and Nea Kameni. Santorini has erupted many times, with varying degrees of explosivity. At least 12 large explosive eruptions, of which at least 4 were caldera-forming. The most famous eruption is the Menon eruption, detailed below. Eruptive products range from basalt all the way to rhyolite, and the rhyolitic products are associated with the most explosive eruptions. The earliest eruptions, many of which were submarine, were on the Akrotiri Peninsula and active between 650,000 and 550,000 years ago. These are geochemically distinct from the later volcanism, as they contain amphiboles. Over the past 360,000 years, there have been 2 major cycles, each culminating with 2 caldera-forming eruptions. The cycles end when the magma evolves to a rhyolitic composition, causing the most explosive eruptions. In between the caldera-forming eruptions are a series of subcycles. Lava flows and small explosive eruptions build up cones, which are thought to impede the flow of magma to the surface. This allows the formation of large magma chambers, in which the magma can evolve to more silicic compositions. Once this happens, a large explosive eruption destroys the cone. The Kameni Islands in the center of the lagoon are the most recent example of a cone built by this volcano, with much of them hidden beneath the water. During the Bronze Age, Santorini was the site of the Menon eruption, one of the largest volcanic eruptions in human history. This violent eruption was centered on a small island just north of the existing island of Nea Kameni in the center of the caldera. The caldera itself was formed several 100,000 years ago by the collapse of the center of a circular island, caused by the emptying of the magma chamber during an eruption. It has been filled several times by ignimbrite since then, and the process repeated itself, most recently 21,000 years ago. The northern part of the caldera was refilled by the volcano, then collapsed once more during the Menon eruption. Before the Menon eruption, the caldera formed a nearly continuous ring with the only entrance between the tiny island of Aspronisi and Terre. The eruption destroyed the sections of the ring between Aspronisi and Thracia, and between Thracia and Terre, creating 2 new channels. On Santorini, a deposit of white tephra thrown from the eruption is found lined up to 60 meters 200 feet thick, overlying the soil marking the ground level before the eruption, and forming a layer divided into 3 fairly distinct bands indicating different phases of the eruption. Archaeological discoveries in 2006 by a team of international scientists revealed that the Santorini event was much more massive than previously thought. It expelled 61 kilometers 15 cu-mi of magma and rock into the Earth's atmosphere, compared to previous estimates of only 39 kilometers 9.4 cu-mi in 1991. Producing an estimated 100 kilometers 24 cu-mi of tephra. Only the Mount Tambora volcanic eruption of 1815, the 181 AD eruption of the Topo volcano, and possibly Baitu Mountain's 946 AD eruption have released more material into the atmosphere during the past 5,000 years. The Menon eruption has been considered as possible inspiration for ancient stories including Atlantis and the Exodus. These hypotheses are not supported by current archaeological research, but remain popular in pseudohistory and pseudoarchaeology. Post-Menon eruptive activity is concentrated on the Kameni Islands, in the center of the lagoon. They have been formed since the Menon eruption, and the first of them broke the surface of the sea in 197 BC. 9 subaerial eruptions are recorded in the historical record since that time, with the most recent ending in 1950. In 1707, an undersea volcano breached the sea surface, forming the current center of activity at Nea Kameni in the center of the lagoon, and eruptions centered on it continue. The 20th century saw 3 such, the last in 1950. Santorini was also struck by a devastating earthquake in 1956. Although the volcano is dormant at the present time, at the current active crater, steam and carbon dioxide are given off. Small tremors and reports of strange gaseous odors over the course of 2011 and 2012 prompted satellite radar technological analysis, and these revealed the source of the symptoms. The magma chamber under the volcano was swollen by a rush of molten rock by 10 to 20 million cubic meters between January 2011 and April 2012, which also caused parts of the island's surface to rise out of the water by a reported 8 to 14 centimeters. Scientists say that the injection of molten rock was equivalent to 20 years' worth of regular activity. Santorini's primary industry is tourism, particularly in the summer months. Agriculture also forms part of its economy, and the island sustains a wine industry. The economic life of Santorini before 1960, when the flow of foreign visitors to the island for tourist purposes gradually began, was based on crops and trade. The island remains the home of a small wine industry, based on the indigenous Assertico grape variety, with auxiliary cultivations of Aegean white varieties such as Zatteri and Adani, and the red varieties such as Mauro Tragano and Mandallaria. The wines are extremely old and resistant to phylloxera attributed by local winemakers to the well-drained volcanic soil and its chemistry, so the wines needed no replacement during the great phylloxera epidemic of the late 19th century. In their adaptation to their habitat, such vines are planted far apart, as their principal source of moisture is dew, and they often are trained in the shape of low spiraling baskets, with the grapes hanging inside to protect them from the winds. The viticultural pride of the island is the sweet and strong Vinsanto Italian Holy wine, a desert wine made from the best sun-dried Assertico, Zatteri, and Adani grapes, and undergoing long barrel aging up to 20 or 25 years for the top cuvées. It matures to a sweet, dark, umber-orange unctuous desert wine that has a cheap, worldwide fame, possessing the standard Assertico aromas of citrus and minerals, layered with overtones of nuts, raisins, figs, honey, and tea. White wines from the island are extremely dry, with a strong citrus scent and mineral and iodide salt aromas contributed by the ashy volcanic soil, whereas barrel aging gives to some of the white wines a slight frankincense aroma, much like Vinsanto. It is not easy to be a wine grower in Santorini. The hot and dry conditions give the soil a very low productivity. The yield per hectare is only 10 to 20% of the yields that are common in France or California. The island's wines are standardized and protected by the Vinsanto and Santorini OPUP designations of origin. The present municipality of Tera, which covers all settlements on the islands of Santorini and Theresia, was formed at the 2011 local government reform by the merger of the former OIA and Tera municipalities. OIA is now called Community within the municipality of Tera, and it consists of the local subdivisions of Theresia and OIA. The municipality of Tera includes an additional 12 local subdivisions on Santorini Island: Akrotiri, Emporio, Episcopus Gonia, Iexogonia, Imrovigli, Cartarados, Miglohori, Messeria, Pyrgos Callistis, Tera the seat of the municipality, Votho, and Vervulos. The traditional architecture of Santorini is similar to that of the other Cyclades, with low-lying cubicle houses made of local stone and whitewashed or lime-washed, with various volcanic ashes used as colors. The unique characteristic is the common utilization of the hyposcafa extensions of houses dug sideways or downwards into the surrounding pumice. These rooms are prized because of the high insulation provided by the air-filled pumice, and are used as living quarters of unique coolness in the summer and warmth in the winter. These are premium storage space for produce, especially for wine cellaring, the Canova wineries of Santorini. When strong earthquakes struck the island in 1956, half the buildings were completely destroyed and a large number suffered repairable damage. The underground dwellings along the ridge overlooking the caldera, where the instability of the soil was responsible for the great extent of the damage, needed to be evacuated. Most of the population of Santorini had to emigrate to Piraeus and Athens. During the 15th and 16th centuries, the Cyclades were under threat from pirates who plundered the harvests, enslaved men and women, and sold them in the slave markets. The small bays of the island were also ideal as hideouts. In response, the islanders built their settlements at the highest, most inaccessible points and very close to or on top of each other, while their external walls, devoid of openings, formed a protective perimeter around the village. In addition, the following additional types of fortifications were built throughout the island to protect the island's inhabitants.